Welcome to KlervoTalks, brought to you by Klervo, your ultimate field service management software, where we have real conversations with real home service business owners in the trades, sharing what it truly takes to grow, scale, and succeed. Let's dive in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to KlervoTalks. I'm your host, Jeff Lopez, and today we're going to talk about how to be able to scale your pressure washing business. We have a special guest here with us today. He is the owner and operator of one of the most successful pressure washing businesses in the Austin, Texas area. Please welcome Jeff Nugent.
How you doing? Thank you for having me on.
No problem. Thank you for taking the time out of your day, be able to come and join us today and share some of these insider secrets on how to be able to scale your business.
No problem.
Yeah. So I know, just kind of right off the bat, kind of dive into it a little bit here, but one of the biggest questions a lot of people are going to be asking is, what's the biggest mistake most people make when trying to scale your pressure washing business?
Yeah, pretty much trying to do too many things at once, trying to, you're going after every customer possible. You don't care where it's at. We started doing that. We would go drive 45 miles, 45 minutes to an hour just to get one customer. You do that in the beginning to, hopefully you get that customer, and then you get 10 other of their neighbors, and so you can at least go there and make it productive. But we've made that mistake many times, so we did have to scale back on that.
Okay, so initially you're trying to just gather as much customers as possible because you're new, and so you're just trying to get as much business. But obviously that starts taking a toll, right? Because then you have extra expenses that come into play, right?
Absolutely.
So, what type of, were there, I guess let me just rephrase it. What type of financial mistakes have you made early on?
Pretty much, I believe we spent a lot of money in advertising, only because, we had to get our name out there somewhere, and it does become expensive. We did some radio ads,
okay,
which it's pretty expensive. It did help. Not as much as we thought, but it did help. We did local newspapers, local magazines, sponsorships, golf tournaments, everything. I think the number is you're trying to get 5% of clients that you hand out flyers to, or so I mean it was well worth it. We would do it again, but not as much.
Oh, okay. So I mean, was there something that you found more successful than another when doing the marketing part of it?
We've noticed recently, within the last year or two, that pretty much word of mouth. If you do a good job, we have a chance to get feedback from the clients. We do ask them, hey, if you like our work, please feel free to tell your neighbors, your friends. And a lot of people did that. And just, being on Google now, we're pretty highly rated on Google. And we noticed about probably 85% of our customers actually found us on Google. So not wasted, but you spend all this money on advertisement when actually people are just looking up, who, does somebody clean garbage cans around me or something like that.
Gotcha. So, I guess let's talk about that a little bit as far as, when it comes to Google ads and SEO, how important is that to be able to scale the business?
It's very important. There's a lot of things we didn't know about that. We had a great website designer who took care of that part for us, and he would tell us some things, and it was just, wow, I didn't even know that existed, security and this and that. And, but it is very important. We would get people all the time contacting us, and sometimes we had to turn them down just because now, they're so far away, or, we just have too many customers. Not unfortunate, but it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, definitely. So, and that's kind of where you got to kind of weigh the pros and cons, right? As far as when to turn customers away, because handling the workload and stuff like that. So that could be very challenging. So when it comes to branding, because you guys have a fantastic name, Ohana, right? Ohana Bin Wash. So How did you come up with that name? I guess we'll start there. And then as far as how, when it comes to branding, because I love your guys' trucks, it's all like nice and branded and have nice colorful colors that you guys use, bright colors. And it makes you guys just stand out a little bit more. So how did you come up with that idea, and how did you kind of bring it from A to Z?
Yeah, our my business partner, Mike, came up with the name. We wanted something that was kind of different. He kind of has a Hawaiian background and everything. So we started talking about some kind of maybe Hawaiian deal. It's different than, all the other names that we've seen. And we came up with Ohana because it means family. It's just kind of like a little family business. And that's the way we looked at it. A bunch of friends getting together and starting a business, taking care of customers. We consider all of our customers family. So it just kind of sunk in a little bit. Just try to come up with a logo that was a little different, that stands out with our trucks and everything like that. So a lot of people comment on it. It's one of those things that, we would have people who are Hawaiian say, "Oh, Hawaiian, oh, Ohana, oh my God, we love it. That's why we chose you."
Oh, nice, nice.
It was good.
That's cool, because you're tying in that family part. So it's kind of like you named the business to orient around family, right? So I love that part, and you kind of you consider your customers as family, so that's really great. You're creating
without them. I mean, we don't have any.
I mean, that is true. Yeah, let's call it what it is, right? Yeah. So how do you maintain, I guess, customer retention? Because as you grow, you're starting to get more and more clients, right? So when you have just a few clients, you're able to like dedicate that time and make sure that quality is there, because you're not as busy. But as you start scaling your business, it gets a little bit more challenging, and you got to put like some structures in place to be able to make sure you maintain that quality while scaling your business, right? So how did you be able to do that, and also what structures or processes did you put in place?
Yeah, so basically, when you start out, you will only have a handful of clients, and you always want to make sure you do a great job, so they will tell other people. But it might take for our business for trash can cleaning. It doesn't take that long, so you want to do a good job. But once you start getting more customers, then instead of 5 minutes, you might take 4 minutes to do it, because you're in a rush. You want to make sure you get it all done, but you don't want to lack on quality and customer service, because that's our number one priority, and that's how we've kept customers for years.
Nice. Yeah, because I was looking at your Google reviews, and they're outstanding.
We take a lot of pride with that. Absolutely.
So, I mean, how do you handle those? Because a lot of people, they might get too busy to be able to handle any type of bad Google reviews that come in. So we'll start there. So have you ever had a bad Google review, and how do you overcome those and like turn a frown upside down, right? Try to convert a customer from a bad one to a positive experience.
Yeah. I mean, fortunately, we've only had, I can only think of maybe 2 or 3. Didn't agree with it, but hey, you have to deal with it. So, I mean, I reached out to them. I had their email and phone number. I texted them. I did send out an email asking them what we did wrong. Was there any way they would use us again? Can we go back there and redo it?
Okay.
You just try to make it right, because that's the last thing you want is a bad review. We've been fortunate enough to have nothing but 5-star reviews. I think we have over 400 right now, 5-star reviews.
Nice.
So, you want to another thing, you want to personally thank every person that left a review. You don't want to be generic. You want to take a little thought and have a response that, hey, we saw it. We thank you for doing it. It's one step that they didn't have to do, but actually helps us out.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that, because to speak upon that a little bit, in my experience, I've been in the customer service field for a majority of my career, and so it's so much easier for people to sit down and write a bad review. But when you ask someone to write a positive review, they're like, I'll do it later. So it takes a lot, it speaks volumes as far as the customer service and also the type of quality that you provide, just not just as you as a business owner, but I guess any business across, anywhere. for someone to write a positive review, it takes a lot. So, definitely thank whoever does positive reviews out there. Thank you very much. And whoever just even does them. Yes. Because that definitely plays a great role in businesses, and especially in startups.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I want to circle back to like the beginning, as far as you talked about how you started doing some radio ads and some, paper ads as well. So, if there was any type of pricing or promotions that you did in the very beginning?
Yeah, we did start out with a try to get the customers. Everybody loves a sale.
Mm-hmm.
We would do, I think we did 50% off your first cleaning.
Oh, nice.
If you after that subscribe to one of our monthlies, every 2 months or quarterly package.
Okay.
And a lot of people jumped on that. Absolutely.
Nice.
Our prices we are the cheapest around, so it's not that expensive, but everybody loves a little something,
Mm-hmm.
and that it stands out because you can use that in advertising, do a big 50% off sale or first one free or, stuff like that. And it
nice.
attracts the customers.
So was that like the best promotion that you found that worked, or was there like other promotions that you tried?
No, with our business, that's pretty much worked the best for us.
Okay.
Because you can do a buy one get one free, or we did have a referral program too. So
Mm-hmm.
If we did get a referral from a customer, we would their next one would be 50% off or something like that. So
Gotcha.
it was a good way to get neighbors and friends and try to keep everything close together.
Family. Ohana.
Yeah. That's right.
So still kind of circling back to the very beginning, right? So did you like niche down? Did you feel like you needed to find a specific niche, like residential versus commercial, or did you just want to go broad, and why?
Yeah, we looked at a couple different things. We did start out with residential because that was for the size of our truck. That's all we could fit.
Mm-hmm.
In this business, there are companies who have bigger trucks that can do residential and commercial. We've looked at that. We also had kind of a side gig too, where we knew some people in the construction industry who were building new homes and all the new subdivisions around here. And when they were done right before closing, we would pressure wash their driveways and the front of their houses and everything.
Oh, nice.
All nice. So, I mean, that could be pretty profitable too. I mean, it was good little extra income.
Mm-hmm.
But then we just decided that, residential is pretty much where the niche that we wanted.
Gotcha.
Especially with Austin just growing every day.
Mm-hmm.
And there's houses and garbage cans everywhere. So,
yeah. Did you find like there was like a lot of competition in the commercial field, or it was just you felt it was just a better suit for you guys?
We didn't. We looked at it a little bit, but until if we decided to get a bigger truck, we really didn't even look into it. We focused 100% on which areas to go, which cities, which neighborhoods. It also depends on which days of the week trash is collected, because you don't want to go to all these neighborhoods when they get collected on Friday. So Saturday, we kind of ran into that problem right now, where we both started the company where we lived. It was all Friday collection.
Mm-hmm.
So we usually do it the next day. So we have a ton of Saturdays. So our Saturdays are by far our busiest days. So we had to kind of look on a map and see which areas collected which days. And, because since we do both trash and recycling, then we had to see which areas of the neighborhood are a week, I guess you could say.
Oh, yes.
Schedule it out and coordinate it that way.
Yeah, that's weird, because I do remember like when I was over in the Round Rock area, I did have, it was every other week for my recycle can. But over here in Hutto, it's every week.
Only one.
Yeah, that's weird.
That does it every week.
Yeah,
which does help us out.
Oh, okay.
If we have to reschedule, hey, we just do it next week, or we can fit a lot more customers, because instead of in one neighborhood you get them twice a month.
Mm-hmm.
In this neighborhood in Hutto, you could get any day,
nice,
any week. So that helps out a lot. That's why we started. Remind ourselves, hey, let's focus in on Hutto. We can get a lot more customers, and it's close. We all live here.
Nice. Yeah, just right down the street, right? So let's talk about that. Like, how did you know like what cities or neighborhoods to kind of tackle? Like, did you just point in a map and be, oh, there we go? Or
We would look for, fairly new neighborhoods. We would look for areas that, weren't too far away, but we did go, we tried to limit within a 30-mile radius or 30 minutes to drive. That's where we're at right now.
Okay.
Like I said, we did go to Manor. We did go to Austin. We did go to Liberty Hill, Cedar Park, Leander, we all over the place. So we had to cut that part out because it was just getting a little too expensive to go out there for, 2 or 3 houses at a time, especially with gas. So we finally cut it down to 4 cities: Georgetown, Round Rock, Hutto, and Pflugerville, and it's worked out. There's plenty of houses out there.
Definitely.
Cities, yeah.
And especially just, more and more. It's, the Hutto area alone, oh my goodness.
You could pretty much just stay in Hutto and you'd be busy all year.
Because, they're building just new neighborhoods. Neighborhoods are just popping up left and right.
Yep.
So it's crazy how much things are growing nowadays. So what type of role does pricing play when preparing to scale? Do you just... how do you come up with the pricing points, and how do you know to kind of take it from A to the next level?
We started out, our thing was we wanted to be the lowest. In my opinion, that automatically attracts people.
Oh yeah.
Everybody wants the lowest of whatever. So we kind of looked at, the competition that was already established and what they were charging. So, we went $1 or $2 lower. We only made one change. We did that about a year and a half ago. We did go up about $2 a month. But you just kind of eyeball every month or every 2 months, just kind of see how the competition's doing. If they're going up a lot, then hey, we can afford to go up, a couple dollars. We always try to stay below.
Okay.
But yeah, you do have to, it's just like everything else, inflation and price of gas and price of water. And, we keep an eye on that.
So just being able to, I guess, keep an eye on the competition, right? So it's if I'm hearing you correctly, you kept an eye on the competition, see if they were raising the prices, because you still wanted to be the lowest.
Correct.
And then when you made that point to jump up $2 was because the competition went up.
I would look at their websites and they all have websites, they all have pricing. So we just kind of try to stay right below them.
Nice. That's how you kind of undercut them, right? Love it. Let's do it. And let's see. So we already talked about some of the, the better deals that help generate you leads, but was there like a specific structure or a process that you had to put in place to kind of help you build or scale your business? Once again, you were starting out, you start out good. And then, some people hit like a plateau or something like that. And, we put something in place to help you get to that promised land. So was there processes or structure?
Yeah, we tried to come up with, a number of how many clients a day do we need to break even and to be profitable. And in this business, weather is a big factor.
Yes.
I would say from April till October around here are the warm and hot months, and that affects our business a lot, just by the smell of the garbage can, what can grow in it, all the fun stuff. And so
I just had a visual in my head. Sorry, that just the smell alone, oh my God.
It all, and it's pretty right, but and then about November, wintertime, it does slow down a little bit. Some people will say, we'll pause subscription or we'll pause and everything until March or something like that. So you kind of have to be prepared for that. Now, maybe that time we will run some more promotions to try to get some more clients, people who don't know that we're still, even in existence. So we try to get them at that time where we, try to get some extra business.
Okay.
So we will probably drop a sale or drop another 50% off your first or something like that.
That was going to be my follow-up question as far as how do you overcome that? Because it seems like it is a seasonal type business from what you're describing. So it sounds like you run some extra promotions during those winter times. But as far as the business itself and help keeping it running, from a financial part of it? Like, do you set aside money for the rainy day, or like, I guess that's the best way I can kind of ask that question.
Yeah, we do set aside money, especially rainy days, just wear and tear on the truck. We have some hoses that might break or something might break, and and then it takes you out for a week or a weekend, and that weekend could have 50 customers, so then you have to try to reschedule, and you just always got to try and stay ahead of it. It's going to happen. Weather's going to happen, maintenance is going to happen, so you just want to be prepared.
Gotcha. And since you're talking about maintenance, is there like based on your experience, and you can give ballpark figures, but is there like a certain percentage that you have to kind of set aside for maintenance to kind of help? Once again, we're still trying to scale our business. So some people may be like a brand new business owner trying to get into the game here. So, just kind of educating some of these folks as far as like how much you kind of have to put aside, because you're right, things are going to break no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, every company is going to be different because in our industry, there's different sized trucks. Our truck that we had that we started out is kind of, let's say, a beginner truck, just to get started. It wasn't one of those big pricey ones. We have trucks. There's trucks in the industry go for well over $150,000 brand new.
Nice.
Or trailers that go for $60,000, $70,000, $80,000.
Wow.
So it might be a little more expensive to fix those ones. But ours, maybe 10%. We kind of save just in case we have flat tires, like I said before, hoses, something wrong with our truck, something happened. That's pretty much where 10 to 50%. Ballpark. It depends. Maybe a little less in the wintertime when we don't have as many customers, and then in summertime you might be able to lower it just because you're actually making a little bit more money.
Okay. And is it one of those type of things where you can kind of DIY, like fix it yourself type of things?
Most of the time it is.
Okay.
We do have one of our partners is pretty mechanical, so we use him as our mechanic.
Nice.
If he can't fix it, which he's done pretty well.
Okay.
The job, he's been able to help us out. Then we do have a company down in Austin that deals with pressure washers and stuff like that.
Okay.
So we've used them a few times for major stuff.
Okay.
We've had to use, unfortunately.
Gotcha. So it's good to have, some of the stuff you can kind of do it yourself, but for the most part, it's good to have one, I guess, a company to be able to go to.
Yeah, because our system on a truck, not too many people know what it is. It's not like a lawnmower or something you can bring to a small parts guy or something. It's something a little different. So we kind of have to explain it sometimes.
Okay.
Or if it is just little things, our system came from Canada. We call them up there. They have mechanics and they have people up there that tell us exactly what's wrong. If we need a part, they'll ship the part out.
Oh, wow.
If it's something to actually do with their product. So, and we've had to do that a few times too. And it all worked out.
Nice.
Just gotta wait sometimes, but
Gotcha. Okay. So just for my own curiosity here, because I see the truck come by. I've seen go to my neighbor's house and stuff like that. So I'm just curious as far as how it works. Because I'm always thinking like there's like some industrial strength, solvents going on, and it's doing all this magic in the background here. But how does it actually work?
It's pretty simple. So basically, when we pull up to the house, we'll get the garbage cans. We'll pick out any little things that might, maybe some bags or some loose things, and then we turn on our heater, and that turns our water to about 200 degrees.
Oh my!
And we lift it up we have a Blondie head that spins around 360 degrees, and it just cleans it all out while it's up there. We do it for about 30 seconds, and everything drips down into our filter. So all the rainwater and everything will filter out through our hose to our gray water tank. So we have a fresh water and gray water tank. And then we have a pressure washer wand. So when we're done with the inside, we just kind of spray it all out on the outside and spray some smell good in there and wipe everything off, make it look new. Nice.
Make it smell fresh and clean, right? Yeah. How important is it to have a website for your business?
Oh, it's extremely important. I feel you can only take so many phone calls and answer so many emails, and our website guy did a great job, John. Fantastic job. And you just direct them there. I go, any questions you have, it's all right there, very self-explanatory. You can give us all your information, it shoots right to us, and we can schedule you, and all done within less than a minute.
So it's like important to be able to have like
and you
a
can
more
just show people too. People are, hey, what do you guys do?
Yeah.
We do a trash can clean. What's that? I've never heard of that. Hey, go check out our website. We'd have pictures and videos and everything that shows our truck and the process, and then they can actually see it's a visual instead of trying to explain it to them.
That makes sense. Because, just like I was asking, my picture was, all these solvents being taken place, and, you were explaining the details of it. And it's,
we don't use hardly any chemicals at all. Just some normal everyday cleaner that you put in there. Just to clean it up, make it smell a little good. But everybody thinks we use a whole bunch of chemicals. Not at all.
Yeah, so that's awesome that your website already contains all that information to kind of educate the customers, and
it just looks nice. It looks like a company. It's people ask you, hey, do you have a website? No, but you can do this or Google this. It's kind of what we do. But it looks, in the way the website looks, it's very professional.
Nice.
It helps us out a lot.
That was going to be my next question, as far as, because there's some websites out there where you can kind of make your own, and it's like a template based, and does it do the trick? It makes you a website, right? But you've seen a difference, right? Absolutely. As far as a template type version versus like a person actually.
When we started, that's what I was kind of looking at.
Oh, really?
Build your own website. Okay, I could do this, I think, but there's so much more that goes into it that I never knew.
Yeah, so
I learned a lot.
So it's worth it to be able to dive in and spend the money to be able to get that website.
It's one of those things that you have to spend money on.
Gotcha. Because then it ties into like different things too, because you talked about it before being ranked on Google, right? So from my understanding, it's like your website kind of ties into that as well.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. So
now every time someone types in, trash can cleaners near me or something, we're right there on top.
Look at that.
And it's just like Amazon, it's like Amazon. You're going to see that first page. You want to be on that first page of Amazon because that's where everybody buys from.
That's true. Yeah. Because if you don't get ranked, right, you get lower down on the totem pole, right? Yeah. So yeah, you definitely got to be up there. So we touched base a little bit upon this, but maybe you might be able to expound on it a little bit more. But some businesses hit a plateau. How were you able to overcome that hurdle?
Yeah, it's it could get tough. You just have to get creative. If one thing isn't working one way, get with your partners, ask around the industry, because that is a pretty big question on a bunch of forums. I joined a bunch of Facebook forums because there's people all over the country asking those questions. You just try to find something different. Try to find offer. See if you can go to a neighborhood that you haven't been to, and just try to get into their Facebook group and say, hey, we're coming out here for a free day. Go do 10, 20 houses. It's not going to hurt. You're going to be out there for 2 hours, and then you're going to get business. Absolutely. Just go to a friend's house. Go to somebody you see. Just bringing their garbage cans in. Drive around the neighborhood at night instead of going the next day.
Okay.
I just had one guy the other day. I was doing this house here. He sees the truck, looks at it, and goes, "Hey, how much can you clean mine? Just one?" And then you just give him a little price. Give him a little price just so he likes it, and boom, done. Oh man, I'm gonna tell everybody now. Thank you.
Nice.
So you can always create business. You just have to go out there and find a way. Go do some more advertising. Go get on your feet. Get your kids out. Knock on doors, or hand flyers out.
Right, kids always want that money, right?
Make them earn it.
Right, because I have older kids, and so it's the more they age, the older they get. I mean, the more money that they ask for.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they get more expensive.
Absolutely.
And so that's a great call out as far as being able to utilize your kids to be able to do that.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. So when you guys first started out, were you kind of just to the grindstone type of thing, bootstrapping it? Did you have an investor? How did you guys kind of get started with all that?
We started with 4 of us. We all kind of put in and just kind of, let's do this all together, split everything 25%, go from there and see how it goes. And, you try to, maybe divvy up, I'm going to be in charge of this, you be in charge of this. Like I said, we had our mechanic, we had our one, Danny, one of our one partners who pretty much put most of the money in the beginning. I was the one who kind of did a lot of customer service and try to map out things. Hey, how are we going to do it? But you just kind of go with the flow. Try to get the customers any way you can. In the beginning, it is tough. There are things, of course, like we mentioned earlier, I would do different. But you live and you learn.
So, I mean, we're definitely going to touch on that as far as what you could be able to do differently if you had to start all over again. But before we get to that, so did you have to come up with like a business plan or anything like that? I know you said that you and your partners kind of just came together, but when you first started, I hear a lot of entrepreneurs say that they need to come up with like business plan and break down all the different departments. And so did you have to do that?
Kind of, like I said, none of us have really been in business before. One of our partners did have a painting company. So I did a lot of research, and just, we did a little business plan, because you have to see, what expenses are we really going to have? And, you make a list of everything, and some things you don't even know about then before you start the business. Then you got, okay, I need this. I need this. That's right. So, we had to do, make it all legal.
Yes.
We did a whole legal Zoom thing, and we had to make insurance is a big part of it too.
That's right.
Insurance will get you sometimes if you get expensive. And then say, will it be profitable? In the beginning, like I said before, you had to do some formulas and say, hey, I need to make this much a week or a month just to break even. So now we have to hit this. And it takes time. Obviously, you need customers, and a lot of people in this business, unfortunately, will go out and buy the big equipment. Boom, right after that, spend $180,000 on this equipment, which you have to fill with gas every day, which you have to fill with water, which you have to insure. And it gets really expensive, and it takes years to build this business. So you have to get customers, and a lot of people give up after 6 months, and they don't see it. They think it's kind of a get rich fast scheme.
Get you quick, yeah.
It's not. It really isn't. Not in this business.
So I guess that helps me lead to the next question. Like, how long did it take from when you guys like opened your doors to you got your first customer?
Oh, first customer probably within the first week.
Oh, okay.
We started with our first customer was actually a friend of ours, lady who took our pictures for the website.
Oh, okay, cool.
I go, you're going to be our first customer. Thank you very much.
Nice.
And then she was, in charge of the Facebook group and kind of our subdivision. And from there on, boom, it just started a lot of them around our subdivision and in Pflugerville at the time. And then we, once we got the website, once we started doing a little advertising, then we'd start seeing different cities pop up and like, oh yeah, we'll be there. Yeah, no problem. And then I would say probably, after a good 2 years, it took us to finally try to condense and say, hey, we can't go here anymore. We need to stick here until if we buy a new truck where we can double our, capacity and everything.
Okay. So
that's the main goal. Like most companies that we haven't done it yet. I'm not saying that we couldn't, but most in this business, you want to try to get as many trucks as possible.
Okay.
So you can expand.
Gotcha.
There are so many, like I said, there's only a handful of companies out here in Austin. And like we talked earlier, there's subdivisions, houses going up every day.
Yeah.
So more trucks you have, the more area you cover.
So how do you know when to make that next leap? So is it just when you start turning down customers? Like,
yeah, when you start getting, when your schedule gets full.
Okay.
Or, you can't go to this city anymore. You want to, but because there's a lot of business there. But it's just too far away right now. Or it's too, we can't do this over here and then go 30 miles here. Now, if you have another truck, then we could focus on that city and the city next to it and just work out there all day instead of going back and forth and driving, 100 miles round trip. In the beginning, you look on our schedule, say we had 15 customers, but it would be, 120 miles round trip.
Oh, yeah.
4 in Hutto, you're doing 4 in Pflugerville, you're doing 4 in Georgetown, you're doing 4 in Leander, you're doing 2 here, 2 in Manor, and you're just a job that should take an hour takes 6 hours.
Yeah,
and it's just it wasn't worth it. We're just wasting time, wasting money.
So, and just for the folks at home, how many miles to the gallon does a truck? You said you have like a beginner one.
2020 Dodge truck, and we get 10 miles a gallon.
That is a lot of miles to drive and a lot of gas to be able to put in.
Yes.
So
yeah, bigger trucks, even less.
Even less. And some of those trucks that you were talking about, the bigger ones, those could be like the type of trucks that the trash people drive, right?
They are that big. They're
okay.
that are that big. They do have, ours is a single lift, so basically we can only do one clean, one garbage can at a time.
Okay.
Most of the bigger trucks are double lift, so you could go to a house, clean both, drop it, see you later, go to the next house, clean, drop it. So very, very, you could do it quick. You can get a lot of customers done in a day, which is a big advantage. So you can get more customers. We, knowing what our capacity of our water and how long it takes, we can only do a certain amount a day.
Okay.
So that's also where we're kind of, if we could only do, say, 30 a day, do we want to do 30 around our neighborhood, or do we want to do 30 that's all over the place? Do you want to work 3 hours, or do you want to work 10 hours?
Gotcha.
Spend 7 of it driving.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to do all that. Because then that's just money lost, right? Yeah, you're just throwing money away. So you did say that there is some competition. So is there like turf, like this is my turf and the other people has their turf? Or
no, we haven't. No, we've never had a problem. I've gotten to become pretty good friends with a few of the guys. You just talk to them. You hardly ever see them. You would think that you'd be going next door, they'd be cleaning next door. It's hardly ever the case. You'll see them driving around, you honk, say hi.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes I just pull up to them. Hey, how you guys doing? How's business?
Nice.
And everybody's been really nice. We almost made a kind of a trade. They were in the same boat. They started about the same time we did. They were trying to get customers everywhere. So they would come all the way down to Hutto from North Georgetown.
Oh, wow.
And, say, do, 4 or 5 or 6 a week or something. And then we would go up to North Georgetown, do our 5, 10, 15, whatever a week. And we just came up with this, hey, let's trade. Let's trade customers, or we'll sell you some, or
nice.
You can sell us some. And so he ended up selling the business to another company up there. So we never completed that trade. But yeah, it's very friendly.
Nice. That's awesome.
It really is.
Yeah. So it's friendly competition, right? So we're all here to make money.
Yeah.
So
it's not like there's a certain amount of people that want this. There's so many. There's so many houses that there's plenty for everybody.
Plenty to go around, right?
Absolutely.
So I guess the moral of the story, folks, is make friends, right? Make friends with everyone, because there's so much money out there to be made. So, let's see. What's been the hardest part of scaling your pressure washing business?
Hardest part, well, a couple things. When your truck breaks down and you have to take a week or 2 off, you lose money.
Oh.
Weather, in this weather, especially wintertime, out here, wintertime, it gets below a certain temperature, freezing, you can't run. All your pipes, you have to winterize the truck. You have to bleed all the water out. Your pipes are frozen. You can't do anything. And that gets frustrating too. It's just the unexpected. You can project, hey, we're going to make this much, or we're going to have this many customers this week or this month. And if something happens, and, you just never know. Or if someone gets sick, there's only 2 of us doing the route right now. And, if I can't do it, or if I want to go on vacation or it's kind of tough, we still have lives and families too. We still want to fulfill, different things. And so you got to kind of schedule everything accordingly. And they don't have a lot of free time.
I gotcha. That's got to be tough.
Especially if you have other jobs too. Mike and I, we both have full-time jobs, and
wow,
this is kind of, I don't want to say a side job because it's not a side job.
Yeah.
It's just another job.
Yeah. Yeah, because you guys have a very successful business, like we were talking about earlier, number one on Google. So, you can only rank that high if you're doing really well. So, so I mean, wow, that's a lot of hours you got to put in then. Yeah. Okay. All right. You are a busy guy.
See that in my eyes.
It's all going to be worth it in the end,
day,
right? Yeah, it'll be worth it one day. So what advice would you give to someone starting today with limited funds and they have a pickup truck and they have kind of this setup, like they're kind of ready to go? So what type of advice would you give to them?
I reach out and talk to as many people as you can that are in the business. That's what I did. I reached out. I looked on. When we finally decided which setup we wanted to do, I looked around YouTube or websites to see who had that setup and called them and just asked them questions. Hey, how'd you guys do it? How'd you install it? What do you guys do to get customers? I asked every question in the world. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is. Ask questions. Everybody is in this industry, I've noticed, is there to help each other.
Oh, okay.
There's so many different forums on Facebook. You can call. There's there's a company in San Antonio that builds trucks. They also help people out with any questions. You go down there, tour their factory, ask them how to start the business, because they also have a trash can business,
really
residential business in San Antonio. Huh. So they're awesome. We went down there. Mike and I went down there, asked them a bunch of questions. Just start small. Don't try to do too much. It's gonna happen.
Okay.
Just don't. I know you get eager and you want to try to get as many customers as you want and everything, but just let it happen. Do good work, have great customer service, and the rest will, pan out for you.
Gotcha. And then, do you feel also that one of the things that kind of coincide with that is to find your niche one, and then also find what territory you want to tackle as well? Because you were talking about driving. In the beginning, you. We're driving all over,
as close to your house as possible.
Okay.
Or wherever you keep the truck.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, there's no difference. If there's 10 people on my street, try to get all 10 of those.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd rather have all 10 of those every month than having to go to 10 different cities, 10 different places, all for the same price.
Gotcha.
It's the same price 2 houses down as it is 20 miles away.
It's true.
So why not?
Except for the cost to you.
Except for my cost, yeah. Try to get everything local. There's houses everywhere. Go out there and do it. Make sure 90% of the people in your city do not know that this business even exists. At all.
Okay.
Go join your chamber of commerce in your city. Go do fundraisers. We'd be a sponsor of golf tournaments. You try to get the just anything that gets your name out there. Okay. That's what we used to do.
So were you a closest to the pin challenge guy or a long drive guy?
Well, Mike hits the ball pretty far, so we were always
the long drive guy. Okay.
Absolutely.
Nice. I always love those because you just try to.
You go out there, you spend some money on sponsorship, and then you just go out and have a great time. You meet other business owners.
That's true.
I've met other small business owners, and then he's like, "Hey, come on, do this group every week." It's a group where we meet somewhere, have breakfast, have lunch, and then we just talk about how to do our business.
So networking.
How does networking? That's all.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, because the long drive ones always like to just try to crush it, man.
If it goes to the right, goes to the left.
Exactly. Exactly.
Win that trophy.
Exactly. So how important is it to use a software program to do like your scheduling and invoicing and stuff like that versus paper? Because there's some folks out there that, good old reliable paper, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's extremely important. We use it every single day. We have to. Right now, if it goes down for some reason, I don't know what we would do. It's very important. It does all our scheduling. It maps our schedule for the day. It shows, it'll pull up an automated schedule. This one's first, this one's second, this one's third. We can send text, we can email, we charge them, invoice, our billings through through them. Everything's through them. So
Nice.
it's kind of our lifeline.
Nice. And then it also, at the very end of the day and also the end of the year, could help with tax time, right? Because you got
reports, taxes, everything's there.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
It's so much
It's really
easier.
nice to have that instead of, trying to get receipts or trying to, invoices from everybody. Then you have filing cabinets. People still have those all over.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it back in the 80s.
I don't know how either. Like, it would just be file cabinets upon file cabinets.
My house, my dad's business. Yeah. File cabinets and paper everywhere.
Oh, wait a minute. So your dad was
He owned a ice cream business.
Oh, okay.
San Francisco Bay Area.
Very cool. So entrepreneurship just kind of is
a
in the
little bit.
blood there.
I remember going with him as a kid,
Okay.
helping him out. And I've had my son help me out. My daughters help me out. Cleaning. It's just one way to speed things up. Some days on those busy days, we would have a daughter and her boyfriend follow me in their car. I'll clean it, I'll wash and everything, and they can clean it and dry it and spray the good stuff and meet me at the next house. And
nice.
Offer them some, hey, give
throw you a little something.
They loved it.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good because they would work hard. They get out there and sweaty and everything in the heat, and it helped me out. So hey, if I knew I had them, hey, I could schedule 10 more on a Saturday.
Okay.
Because it's only going to take half the time. So on those busy days where we've had to reschedule some, or we just have a lot of new customers that week, something happened where the word got around.
That's awesome. Yeah. You could be able to utilize. I love that approach.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then also you're teaching, just, being dads, you're teaching them how to be able
everybody knows, kids nowadays, they don't do half the stuff we did as kids. They don't go outside and play and all
yes,
that.
I wasn't going to say that, but yes.
I will. Yeah, absolutely. And they like it. I used to love going out with my dad and working and all that. I still have memories of that. And, my kids, same thing. Hey, thanks for taking me out. Thanks for letting me do this. I had a good time, which... it's a little messy, but you have a good time, and that makes you feel good.
Yeah, teaching them the value of money just doesn't grow on trees,
Absolutely.
Right? It's we all have to work.
You want your DoorDash or whatever.
Exactly. It's not like back in the day when they were like 2 or 3 years old.
Yeah. You want this new game, or you want this new pair of shoes, and go ahead. You're gonna work for it.
Yeah, and there's no Santa Claus. There's not free stuff. Oh man. So what was your strategy around reinvesting profits into the business?
Yeah, with this business, it takes a while to be profitable because, we don't charge a lot of money. We charge, I think right now we're at $20 for every month, $30 every 2 months, or $40 every 3 months. So it's not like other businesses where, you do a job and it's hundreds or thousands of dollars. So it takes a little bit of time to become profitable. You just keep trying to save as much as you can,
Okay.
Keep saving, put stuff away. Just be responsible, try to, set aside money for repairs, set aside money for all your everyday costs, come up, with a number of what you need every month, because those bills aren't changing. Like I said, your insurance, your gas, your website, your, software, just everything. It gets expensive.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's those charges are just kind of static charges, right? They're reoccurring.
Yep.
There's no way around it. So, and then you did talk about earlier as far as it takes a while for this business to grow. So, and we talked about as far as how long it took you to get your first client, but how long did it take you to be able to turn profitable?
I'd probably say at least 2 years.
Okay.
Like I said, we did things a little, not, I don't want to say backwards, but, it did take a while because, we wanted to make sure that we had, a nice truck. We wanted to make sure our insurance was actually where we needed. We wanted to make sure we had the best website. We wanted to make sure we had the best software. I mean, it was just, but yeah, I mean, it takes a while, at least 2 years, I would say.
Okay.
But that's not, I mean, that's just where the truck we had and how many customers we actually could do.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, there's, and you have money set aside already, you have money from whatever, and you can get a truck, and it's not going to hurt you as much as some other people. You get as many customers you want. It could be less than a year. I mean, it could be right off the bat. You never know.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to kind of point that out to the folks who are watching this, as far as you stated earlier, this is not a get rich quick type of thing. So you do have to kind of, hunker down, make sure you hit the, just get on the grind, and, make sure we're getting those customers out there. Every customer is valuable, but also kind of know your limits as well. And, just keep on plugging away. So what does the next level of growth look like for your business?
Our next level is we definitely get that second truck.
Okay.
Our truck, our system that we use was only supposed to be a starter. We pretty much use that as like an old car. We're trying to get everything out of it and everything. And so we do want to get the next level truck, whether that's a trailer or the bigger rigs that they have. That should be your goal.
Okay.
Because that's just to look on the road and see some of these trucks in the wraps that they have and everything. They're awesome. You could tell someone's coming down the street, and it's just the visual. Hey, what's this guy? Ours. We have our system on the back. We have our logo and all that, so they can kind of see that. But you get a bigger truck, you're gonna open some eyes. And like I said, the bigger truck, you get more customers. You get more. It doesn't take as long to do. So you could be or even the smaller ones, just try to get as many as you can. That's the goal in this business. Try to get as many trucks as you can, get as many employees as you can that you can afford, and just try to get every house out here. It also depends where you live, where you live and how your competition is. Some people I've noticed across the country try to start out, with a population 60,000. So if you do the math, if you only get 1% or whatever,
okay,
they try to say maybe 10% of your population is actually
interesting. I've never thought of thinking of it from that perspective, as far as looking at your population.
I just look at it on my street.
That's great.
How many people on my street are doing it? Maybe 3, maybe 2 out of 10 houses.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Okay, that's a great approach. Like I've we've had talks before, just us before, and I've never thought of it from that perspective, looking at it from the city population. That's a great call out. Great call out. What is one myth about running a pressure washing business you want to bust?
Let's see. I'm trying to see if I've heard any. I've seen a lot. I don't know. That one, I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say some people think it's super easy, right?
Oh, it's not easy. I mean, I know that. Yeah.
We could bust that myth.
I mean, I've done pressure. I've done, like I said, we used to do driveways and houses, and we do have people who contact us probably once or twice a month who ask us if we do driveways or stuff like that. Which you can. There are the bigger systems too. You can absolutely do driveways.
Okay.
You can do commercial parking lots. You can do all kinds of stuff. If you do have that bigger truck, you have more water capacity. You can do it. There's a whole bunch of things you can do with this business. It doesn't strictly have to be garbage cans.
Okay.
You can do whatever you want to make as much money as you want.
Nice. But it's still kind of, circling back again, kind of knowing what your business can be able to handle, right? And kind of finding that niche.
And try different things. Like I said, we've had people call us up because there was graffiti in a parking lot. Can you guys help us out?
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't know. We'll go try. Yeah, we'll see. We went out there and sure enough, we got it out.
Nice.
Named a price and they said, okay, great, perfect, thank you.
Awesome. Heck yeah.
A couple $100 for 10 minutes worth of job. Yeah, sure. We didn't know really what we were doing, but
I love that part.
We had a pressure washer. And, it came out, looked good.
So, what about like franchising? Has anybody ever come up to you about trying to do franchising? And also, how do you know to make that leap if that is something that a business wants to do?
Things we did talk about that in the beginning, even when we were before we started, hey, you know, what's our goals? Do we want to just work around here? Do we want to franchise? And in the beginning, it was, we want to expand, franchise, all that stuff. We had a couple offers probably within the first year. We had offers people to buy the company.
Oh, wow.
Other ones in the area. Yeah, at that point, we're like, heck no, you know, this is ours. You know, we spent all this time and money and effort. No, we're good. We're going to get this all over the place. And, you know, would it be a good idea? It could. It's up to everybody. It's up to you. You know, if you want a franchise, and absolutely go ahead. If you want to keep it your own and try to make as much money as you possibly can, absolutely.
Gotcha. Okay. And what's something no one talks about when it comes to growing this kind of business? Is there anything that kind of sticks out for you?
It takes a lot of, you know, it takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of, you got to look at the little things, just the customer service part. You know, you have to be number one in customer service because that extends everything. That's going to extend locally. It's going to extend, you know, other cities. People are going to talk about it. You're going to get your good reviews. Like I said, that's our number one thing is our good reviews. And people actually nowadays, you know, you get even say the, you know, older crowd and everything who look on Google a lot, you know, and say, you know, that's the first thing to look at reviews, you know, like, oh, well, you know, these guys are this, but we loved your reviews. And, you know, you take pride in that.
Yeah.
And say, hey, thank you very much. You know, we're doing an outstanding job. We really hope you use us again. Tell your friends, you know, all that stuff. Just that's how it grows. But it takes patience, takes time.
Yeah.
You know.
And I will admit, that's the first thing my wife does. Anytime we look for a service or anything, she's boom, reviews.
Things are different nowadays. Everything's palm of your hand, and you look at one spot. And you know, we all do that for whatever we want. You know, a restaurant or you know, something to buy. You know, you look somewhere. Hey, that's good reviews. I don't know anything about this company. Yeah, sure.
People don't know how important that is as far as just reviews.
I had no idea. Until this started happening. And like I said, we used to use, this is another thing, you know, our software, and plus we used another app, you know, that would generate reviews. So you pay whatever it was a month. It wasn't that expensive. And, you know, it'd shoot out emails when we were done. It was connected to our website that when we sent an invoice, they would get a separate one saying, hey, you know, if you'd like this company, please leave them a review on Google.
Okay.
And we would get hundreds of those.
Gotcha.
It just kept going. And then our software came up with one where, you know, hey, every 6 months they would say, you know, if you like them, did a good job, send a review. And we got, that's how we scaled the reviews. And it helped so much.
Nice.
So that's how we got pretty high on Google.
Oh, that's awesome. So little trade secret there, folks. And so I think we're coming up to our last question here, and I saved this one for last. So what would you do differently if you could start all over again?
Well, if I could start all over again, let's see. I would definitely, you know, kind of see how much money you have, how much it's going to take to be successful.
Okay.
That's the main thing. The more people you invest with, it's just, you know, it's the more that has to split. It's good in the small business. It could be good.
Yeah.
I was just not in the position to do it all on my own. I needed help, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, we're with a great bunch of guys, and just I would scale back how far I reached out. If we did the radio advertising, because, you know, I thought, hey, heck yeah, I mean, I've never been on radio and everything, and it was kind of cool to hear all that. And, but that reached out to a different audience, you know, reached out all over Austin area.
Gotcha.
So we kind of would have to turn some people down if it was too far away. If you're in this business specifically, the residential trash can cleaning business, stay as close as you can to your house.
Gotcha.
That'd be the number one thing.
Okay.
Absolutely. Try to centralize it as local as possible. And then if things work, because you're going to get to a time, you know, and work on your schedule. Make sure you don't put too many on one day. Make sure you spread the days out. Do some research. Find out which neighborhoods are Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, which day of the week's recycling, which day of the week's not, just try to come out with an even schedule.
Nice.
We'll get some days, which isn't bad, but some days we'll have 5 and some days we'll have 50.
Oh, wow.
It's not consistent sometimes. So you want to try to stay as consistent, because if you're consistent, you know exactly pretty much how much money you're going to have coming in every day.
Okay. And that kind of helps, just so that way there you can project as far as each month, like how much you're going to be making. Yeah. No, that's great. So, Jeff, thank you very much for everything, all the insider tips, tricks. That's definitely going to help our entrepreneurs out there that are trying to scale their pressure washing business.
I wish them all luck.
Yeah, thank you very much. So that's going to do it here for us today on Klervo Talks. Tune in next time, and we will see you on the next episode.
If you enjoy listening to Klervo Talks, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. This episode is brought to you by Klervo, simple, affordable, and scalable software for your home service business. See you in the next episode.